back. Welcome back. This is the Morning Smoke Podcast. We appreciate you staying with us. We have our Shades of Excellence segment coming up here, and we have two special guests. I want to recognize we have Randall and Eve Guzman, and we do want to thank you all for coming on. You guys are two entrepreneurs that caught my eye, very motivating. I've seen a lot of hard work. You guys post your pictures. I follow you both, and I definitely want to have you on because I think that health in the Black community is something that I don't know if we take serious enough as a community. I think that we struggle there, whether it be our diets, our habits, just encouragement, and I don't know if it's all communities, but I'm looking through the lens of the Black community, and I definitely see that we're lacking there. We are predisposed to the diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, a lot of things, and that just comes from, I think, from early on throughout the things that we eat, the things that we do. So without further ado, I do want you to introduce yourselves, tell us, your business and everything that you guys are about.
All right, so I'm Randall Guzman. This is my wife, Eva Guzman. She goes by Eve. Our business is G Transformation Academy. We started it 7 years ago. It's actually a nutrition and fitness business. We started 7 years ago after we went through our own journeys to lose weight. We lost over 265 pounds together. And then through that, we just decided that we wanted to help people to realize the same. It was a life-changing experience for us. To be able to lose that weight and to be able to live again. And like you said, in our community, it's a huge struggle. From the time we're children, we're taught to eat, certain things that doesn't benefit us health-wise. So for me, like I was a big kid, so my mom always was like, oh, feeding me potatoes and bread and everything, all carbs to make sure that I was full because we didn't have a lot of money. So I needed to eat those type of things so I could fill up so I wouldn't be hungry. So instead of learning to eat the right things, we often eat fried food all the time, fast food, whatever's the cheapest and whatever is the most handy at the time instead of eating the right foods. And that's more of what we focused on. And then my wife is a scientist. So when we started, she lost weight before me. And then after I finished playing football, I ended up gaining weight and I was almost 400 pounds. So in January of 2014, December 2014, 13, we decided that we were going to get in the gym together and get on this journey together. I had hired a nutritionist and the plan was pretty cookie cutter and it was kind of designed for it was the same thing they gave everybody, which I was almost 400. I was 386 pounds, but I wasn't at 386 pounds like someone else may be. And my wife recognizing that, she was like, well, I know how the body works. I know all about the body. And she started studying. And then that's how we came up on macros. And we're macronutrient specialists. At that point, she went and got her nutritionist license. And then she started writing macros for people.
That was all she wrote.
Yeah, it was.
Tell us a little bit about.
It wasn't that simple, but it ended up working out.
That's awesome.
For a layman out, what is the macronutrient? What is that? What does that mean? What is?
So macros are your three major nutrients. So macros are macros are so calories are made up of nutrients, right? Macros and micronutrients. Your macros are your fats, your proteins, and your carbs.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's your macronutrients.
Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of calorie counting and just hitting 2,000 calories, 2,500, tracking your food each day, your goal is more specific and it comes down to how many grams of protein per day, how many grams of carbs, how much fat, because you're taking that amount of calories and then, classifying it further into where those calories coming from protein, carbs, and fats. Because a nutritionist could tell you eat 2,500 calories a day for you to lose weight, but then you go to the McDonald's drive-through to get all of those 2,500 calories.
Right.
So the structure of the protein, carbs, and fats each day will kind of gear you into also making some good choices, some fun stuff, but also some vegetables and fruit, that type of thing.
Got you.
I got you. So, if you get somebody, that's reaching out to you, Tell us about that journey. What is that from begin? They reach up. What are you going to be asking them? How is that going to look? If I'm calling you up and saying, "Hey, I'm trying to do this is my goal. Help me get there."
Cool. So basically, what happens is a lot of people DM us, they email us, they see us on, Instagram stories, lives, podcasts, Facebook ads, website, whatever. But we usually get a DM or an email, or someone will find our website and they just directly apply. So when you go to our website, you fill out an application. It's going to have a lot of questions about like how you're currently eating, your dieting history, what's your struggles, your obstacles, things like that. We review your application as a team. Then you schedule a call to talk to us to make sure our program and our coaches are the right fit for you, like a good match personally, a good match skill set wise. We also make sure that we can help you because there are some people that may need some things first, like some blood work or different things done before just jumping right into coaching. And then once we decide that we're a good fit, then we schedule the start of your program, outline what your program is going to be like, and then we actually write a customized macro program for you. And from the time point that someone starts on day one with us, doing 3 months of coaching and onward with us, our clients are checking in with us every week. They have daily messaging access to us Monday through Friday. We are giving them updated calorie goals, macro goals, cardio goals, water goals, fiber. I'm writing their workout programs every week. And every week when they check in, we're making a progressive plan as it goes. So it's highly, highly customized, and we do, really, personal coaching.
I love that. I love that. For me, um, I've seen a change in my health. I had COVID, and it really impacted my breathing. And
Mhm.
so I have breathing problem I never had before. And so it definitely makes me less active. It makes me miss out on a lot of those opportunities to burn calories, yet my intake is not changing, right? So
Mhm.
I mean, you guys been doing this 7 years, so you definitely were in the game pre-COVID. What are
Right.
some of those things post? You hearing stories like mine? I mean, this is I tell you, I don't know how to go about this, to be honest with you. It's kind of crazy. I mean, what are the changes you've seen post COVID from this health perspective?
So even pre-COVID, you had like pre-existing illnesses that stop people from doing hard workouts and things like that. But definitely post-COVID, you have the cardiovascular issues. So you can't tell someone that has those issues to go run or to go to the gym or anything like that. But the most important part of this journey is the kitchen. So that's the I mean the gym, the running, the weightlifting, all of that is a bonus. It's truly just a bonus. Like if you can manage yourself in the kitchen and what you're putting into your body, you'll achieve your goals. You'll be able to lose weight. You may not build as much muscle because you're not in the gym working out, but you can lose weight just by eating right in the kitchen. And that's the main thing we push to our clients. And then neat activity. So neat activity is your daily walking, just what you're doing. So don't park in the handicap spot. Park in the back of the
Yeah.
parking lot.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Walk around that store, get out that hover, that electric scooter riding
Uh,
around the store. You know what I mean? So some people are just big and they want to be in a scooter because they don't want to walk around. If you need that
hmm.
scooter, I get it. But if
Yeah.
not, walk around that store, get those steps
Hmm.
in. If you get 10,000 steps in a day or more, that makes a big difference in your life as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, getting 10,000 steps in per day is more important than running on the treadmill, cardio,
Mhm.
jump rope, lifting. I mean, it's the food structure and then the movement through the steps. It's
Mm-hmm.
tracking your steps. That's bigger than anything when it comes to exercise.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure, America, that I'm glad that I had them on because now my co-host is going to be on me now more than ever. All right. Uh, um, yeah, I'm just gonna turn it over to he's more into fitness. I want to be into fitness. I want to lose, and I have small goals. I just really feel like my one true vice is food. Fried
Mhm.
chicken is a kryptonite.
Used to
I
be
love
me.
chicken.
Yep.
I don't know how you guys would ever break somebody of that. That is a beautiful fried chicken. I mean, I know it's not good for me, but
Yeah,
man, I've raised on it. It's been a habit, and that's what I'm talking about. Those habits that you raise from day one that you can remember. You eating this chicken, you getting it in the frying pan. You know, is
yeah,
some of this this
Fried fish
plan that you
every
got trying to
Sunday.
break that? Is it trying to break that
yeah.
mental dependency that you guys work on that upstairs? You know.
Hmm.
And it's definitely the mental part of it is huge, right? The one thing, the biggest part of the best advice we can give somebody is like we allow cheat meals in our programs.
Yeah.
You need to earn that cheat meal,
Yep.
and you
Okay.
should only have one a week. But if you love your fried chicken, and you know what I mean, you eat right all week, and you achieve your goals, yeah, you should reward yourself with that fried chicken because if you don't, you end up binging.
Yep.
So it's important for you to give yourself some things that you like. Other thing about our plans that she said is customized when we do macros. So we have ways that you can work your favorite foods in because we don't send a meal plan and say you eat this. We
Yeah.
teach you how to eat. So we teach you how to eat. If you go out to eat, we teach you how to eat at restaurants. We teach you how to eat anywhere, and you can shape your day around what you're going to eat. If you know you going out and you're going to have that fried chicken, then you need to manage early in the day and not eat as many calories, not eat as many fat calories or whatnot, because you know you're going to have a high fat dinner.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
teach that in our program.
I like what they're saying. Folks, these two know what they're talking about here. So, I'm gonna turn it over to my co-host. He is definitely Mr. Fitness. He's gym all the time. He's definitely trying to make a change in his life, and he is inspirational to me. So I'm gonna leave it over to him. And what you got for us?
I mean, nah, I wouldn't say I'm Mr. Fitness, but I will say that
To me, the little guy. You know, I'm
but I will say that I think what made me change because I was in the same place as Mike last year. Like before I actually started getting to the gym, I just I would just go do my day to day work, eat, and sleep, and get up and do it again. I didn't really think about health and things of that nature. I mean, obviously it's in the back of your mind, but it
Hmm.
wasn't on the forefront where it should have been. And really, I think what changed my health pattern. So my dad, about 3 years, 4 years now, he had a stroke.
Hmm.
And when he had a stroke, he also had other ailments as well too. So that played a part. So now my he's doing a little bit better. He's still not himself, but he's still, and he's bedridden essentially. And some stuff obviously you can't control. I mean, no one knew that he was going to have a stroke, sitting in the parking lot somewhere.
Right.
But some things he could control, such as high blood pressure, things of that nature, which is one thing that runs really rampant in my family is high blood pressure. So I just came up. It literally was a revelation. It was like literally, you know what? I can control this. I don't have to be like that. Now, if something happens to me outside of that, it is what it is.
Right.
But for the things that I can control, I want to try to do that, and that's what kind of led me to my fitness journey. And I'm only 5'6", and me being over 200 plus pounds ain't gonna cut it. I
Hmm.
don't even feel right. Like I get up out the bed, I'm sluggish, and I just feel like I'm out of breath. And I like to play basketball a lot, and there were times where I couldn't even really get up and down the court because of all this weight it was on me. So back last year is when I really kind of made the move to really buckle down and actually get it together. And so far, it's been good for me. I've been able to lose weight, and I'm not where I want to be. I'm getting close, but definitely, I'm glad that I'm different than what I was last year. So I guess for me, that was my eye opening, awakening thing. I mean, it was unfortunate that it had to happen to my dad in order for me to see it, but it was an eye opening thing. So I guess my first question would be, because you had mentioned, excuse me, that you were pushing 400, and obviously you both wanted to lose weight at a point in time. What was that, I guess, that eye awakening moment for you?
So for me, like I said, like I played college football and then I played some arena ball afterwards. So like I was always like eating pizzas and drinking beers until like I was like 27 years old.
Yeah.
But I was working out all the time. So once you finish, playing sports all your life, um, first thing you thinking is I want to relax.
Mhm.
So I'm relaxing, playing with my kids, playing PlayStation, eating pizza, still drinking beers. And like I gained 100 and something pounds in like a year and
Mhm.
a half. So
Mhm.
I looked up and I was 387 pounds, 386 pounds. And like the funny thing is like once I went to the doctor. I went to the doctor and the doctor was like, you're too big and we want you to have bariatric surgery.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't want to have bariatric surgery. And he was like, well, we need you. We think you need to have it. And I'm like, nah, I just been being lazy. I've not been eating right. I'm like, give me a chance to work it off. And I came home. I was mad at my wife because I've been blaming her for my shirt shrinking for the last year. And, and she ain't told me, like, nah, you big. You know what I mean?
I was like, I'm not shrinking shit over here.
So, so yeah, so I mean that was a big eye opener for me. And then actually something more serious was going on. Like I had sleep apnea really bad.
Yeah.
And my wife kept telling me like you stop breathing in your sleep all the time. So we actually did a sleep study and I died like 87 times or 88 times or something like that in my sleep. They told me in the morning or whatnot. And those type of things really led to me taking this serious. Like I was like, I looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? And then it was another moment I remember training my daughter for basketball and my wife was recording us because we were trying to work on her mechanics for a jumper.
Yeah.
And I looked at myself and I'm like, that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? And at that point, I just decided like I wanted to do something different. I want to change my life. And just so happened, my wife had already lost weight. So that was motivation for me. I knew I could do it. Um, and
He was like, you're not about to look good without me.
so and she wanted to learn to lift weights. I already knew how to lift weights.
Right.
So it was like a match made in heaven and it was perfect timing. And we started going to the gym together and we never stopped like since at that point. And then of course the journey goes on. We started learning how to eat proper. At first we were just going to the gym. I lost 30 pounds. And then I stalled out. But then we started learning how to eat, and that's when the real gains started to come into place.
Yeah.
That's when we started losing, and eventually I lost 126 pounds.
Nice.
And it's still going. Like you said, you're not where you want to be. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm still going. It's a lifelong journey. Like I'm never going back to where I was.
Yeah.
So it's only improvements from here, and it's you versus you. So every day I'm just trying to, get better, and work on my goals. So.
It's funny how you mentioned the whole shirt thing, because I felt like I was the same way too. Like my wife is an avid picture taker. Like anytime we go out somewhere, anytime we on vacation, girl always wants to take pictures with me, and I'm like, man, I look like the big cow in this picture, man. I don't want to keep looking like that. So that's funny you mentioned that because that was kind of my thought process too.
It's true, man. I was wearing 5X shirts and size 50 jeans. I didn't want to go to the mall. She want to go to the mall. I'm like, man, what I'm gonna do there?
Right.
Like, ain't nothing for me there. Like, I don't want to go.
Right.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, and like I said, she lost weight. Like, what you lost weight? Like 9 years before me. When she lost her weight, I was in shape.
Oh wow. It was a trade-off. That's what happened.
Yeah.
It was literally, I lost weight, then he lost weight, then I lost more weight.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So, but yeah, we just been on it together. She been modest in her story. She used to be 275 pounds.
Oh wow.
At least.
And then yeah, she ended up, at the end of her journey, she ended up, competing, bodybuilding.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
she body and she did well. She got hardware. I don't know where it's at. But yeah, so she did really well. She just set goals and went for it. So I was proud of her and she motivated our family. My biggest motivation is my family and wanting to be around for them.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to be so big. Even if I was alive, when you look back at my pictures, I look sick. Like, I didn't think I was sick, but I look sick. Like I could have not been here right now. You know what I mean? So my biggest motivation was wanting to see my kids grow up and be able to play ball with my son, my daughter, So I can do those things now and by the grace of God, so
That's awesome,
I'm
man.
blessed.
Awesome.
That's so funny that you guys both talked about your wives and your clothes because
It's
I
real,
look,
man.
I really don't care nothing about no clothes. My wife, she really gets that stuff for me, and I kind of just we go out somewhere, she lay that out for me. I don't care that she want me to match her. Just, well, there you go. She take care of all that for me, and I be
Yeah.
getting on her. What are you doing with this? Is the journey? What are you doing with that 1X? That ain't gonna I mean, what you doing with that large? I'm sorry, and I like a 1X. This is not working for me. Maybe some run smaller. This ain't right. And then
Yeah.
I said, man, you know what? These 1X's ain't the same. Let me get that 2X.
Wow.
And I'm currently on that 3X journey where I feel more comfortable in that because I come from that 90s era where you're more baggy. And I never really got into that skinny jeans or shirt type thing. I don't feel comfortable at all.
It's
And
not
being
skinny
Yeah.
bigger,
shirt. It's
I'm,
the regular fit. What do you mean?
no, I don't like none of that. And so,
What do you
uh,
mean?
and then I'm self-conscious too. So I really, I feel like a 3X, I probably could, be a 2X, but I don't like it tight. And since so it's real, I be getting on her and it's nothing to do with her. It's everything to do with me. So it's kind of
Yeah.
funny. That's a journey there. I do want to ask you, this is for the listeners. A lot of people, and I've seen this, and so I applaud you too. It sounds like you have an amazing relationship, but I've heard a lot of stories where you say that the wife will lose that weight, and somehow that relationship may fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
Something or vice versa. And
Mhm.
you'll see one change their lifestyle, and the other one is still whatever. And what was you guys' secret that kept your bond strong, that kept you through that transition? Where it wasn't that jealousy, that resentment, whatever it may be, those negative things that I've seen play out time and time again when one makes that change and the other one doesn't.
We actually we see that all the time. While we're coaching people, like their significant other, like don't support them. We also have an academy where we certify coaches. So these coaches are actually coming through our academy and educating themselves enough to where they're able to run their own businesses and quitting their jobs and being able to make great money. So a lot of times we see a lot of times where like the spouse don't support them in that facet either. For me, it came easy when we started because like my wife always had my back. Like
Mhm.
I had, like I said, I played football for a long time, and like we had my daughter when we were 19. I was just turned 20 actually. We had our daughter. So that I mean that's 7, 8 years. I'm gone every weekend. I'm at practice. I'm at practice in college. I was at practice at the stadium from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. a lot of times in the summertime, and she had to help hold that down. And
Yeah.
she never complained or anything like that. So when we started the business, actually, she had the business basically taken off. She quit her job. I kept working. Like I just left my job last year. So it was a no-brainer for me to be like, you know what? It's your time to shine. Like you let me do all that shining. So why would I not let you
Yeah.
do that? And then
Yeah.
if you my wife, you my best friend, like I'm gonna push you to be great and I'm gonna love seeing you be great. There's no way I'm gonna hate on my wife.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
that's one thing I never understand. I see it a lot. And people ask me all the time, like, well, what you gonna do if y'all get a divorce? And you know what I'm saying? You let her do that, such and such and such, and you still working because I was working in the factory. I was in the factory for like 9 years or whatever while we was getting this thing off or whatever. And I'm like, dude, you worried about the wrong things. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? You
Right.
worried about somebody leaving you and you supposed to be working together. How y'all gonna work together?
Yeah,
So
I see that a lot. And so I hope that, any of our listeners, if you're in that situation, it sounds like you put that personal ego aside
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
you lift up the other person and ahead of your own when it's their time to shine.
definitely.
So I definitely, I like that. I do. Before we get, we have a little bit of a lightning round that we'll ask you guys here for some quick answers. But before we get to that, I do want to, if you guys tell us your website or contact information or however it is that people can reach out to you.
Okay. You
Yeah, our website is gtransformationacademy.com. You guys can reach out to us on there. You can email us through there, ask us questions, apply. Our Instagram handles, mine is Eve_fit_chick. It's been the same thing
Mine is
for like
big.
7 years.
Mine is big_Goose.
Okay.
Cool,
Okay.
cool.
All right. Fitz, did you have anything else for our guests?
No. I mean, I'm excited. You finally, brought somebody on here that's talking health, so that's in my realm. I definitely, most likely, probably will hit you up because I'm in that stage now where you had mentioned about, you lost some weight, and now you're like, okay, where do I go from here? Like, what is going to take me over that particular edge? And you mentioned the macros, and I've actually been. It's funny that Mike invited you because these are some of the things that I've already been researching myself.
Yeah.
Because I've already changed my diet, but I want to make sure that it's working for me the way that it's supposed to. So definitely you'll get some inquiries from little old me, so that way I
Cool.
can try to get myself together. So
Great. We'll be looking for you.
absolutely.
Definitely. You mentioned that you had your your daughter at 19. Now I know we played high school ball together.
Yep.
Did you meet each other in high school, or was this college, or?
We met freshman year of college. Yeah,
Okay.
University of St. Francis. We went to college together.
Okay.
Met in the computer lab. She was crushing on me hard, so I gave her a chance.
Okay. I understand how that goes. I understand that.
You know what? I couldn't even shake them.
Yeah, I was hard up. I had to get it.
Yeah, I understand. Eve, if you look, you could tell us. Is that story pretty accurate, or what you thinking?
He had to have me.
Wow.
I'm following her around a little bit,
I understand.
But
Well,
she failed. You know what I mean? I was doing the old suave stuff, putting balloons on your card.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Taking me to Applebee's, fattening me up.
Hey, yeah, we were so broke back then. We used to go to Applebee's and split one meal.
Hey,
yeah,
hey, chicken basket, riblet basket.
To be the best. To be the best meals, though. To be the best meals.
I'm telling you.
I love that. All right. Well, quick money round. It kind of, Family Feud style. We'll give you guys, looking for quick, fast answers here. Are you guys into any sports? You follow sports still? I know you're a former football player. You follow that at all, or basketball, or?
Yeah, football, basketball. I'm all in.
Okay. Eve, are you into any of that, or?
Hell no.
You
I'm just there for the appetizers.
I understand.
I just
So
do what he does.
you had to live the football
support my
career, so
teams.
you're good. You're good. Yeah. All right. Well, so Goo, I call him Goo, but this is for you, real quick. Mike or LeBron?
Whew, that's a tough one right there, man. I mean,
ain't holding back on it.
Huh?
I said we're not gonna hold back on it. We jumping right in.
All around player, man. I'm going with LeBron. I'm going with LeBron for all around player. I mean, I just think I think the dude is unstoppable. You know what I mean? And what he brings to the game is crazy. And then I feel like that he can play 1 through 5. He can definitely play 1 through 4, but he can guard 1 through 5. And then you got to look back in the day, like you had like one shooter per team. Like now, everybody can dribble, everybody can shoot, and he's still a top tier defender at the same time. Well, he's a little old now, but he's still been a top tier defender all his career. And I believe then the other thing, man, I can't shake his off the court accolades, like what he does for the community, all of the things, never been in trouble, any of that. Like people don't take that into account. That's huge with me. His character is huge with me.
No, I definitely agree.
This is my first time meeting you, and I'm trying to get these macros together. So I'm gonna let it slide. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just
Go ahead, MJ.
No, I ain't gonna let it slide.
See, he ain't got his Bulls hat on this week, but
today Kobe Day, so that's why we're
so he got the Laker gear on really because he's a secret closet
Mike
LeBron
Jr.
fan.
Yeah, Kobe, Mike Jr. I see.
Kobe Bean, yes sir.
Being from Indy, Colts were big. You've seen Peyton maybe a lot. Where do you rank him all time?
Hey, I rank him as the best quarterback to ever play the game, but I rank Brady as the best player and the most winningest quarterback to play the game. But if you're talking about from a pure quarterback standpoint, I got to roll with Peyton Manning. He changed the game. Nobody was doing what Peyton was doing. Peyton was running that offense. You know what I mean? He's the best of all time to me.
I agree with that. Another player, that's a good transition. Another player that changed the game, Steph Curry. Do you have him? Look, he near and dear to my co-host heart. Do you have him top 3 point guard of all time? Some people, I don't know.
He ain't in my top 3 point guards of all time, but hey, I mean, he a bad dude. He did transition the game. I mean, he like the best scorer, one of the best scorers of all time.
Eve, I'm gonna ask you about the micros. I gotta say,
point guard though. I mean, Steph got handles, but Steph is a shooter.
Yeah.
Steph is a shooter. Like, yeah. I mean, he can pass the rock, but I mean, you talking the likes of Magic. You know what I mean? Isaiah. You know what I mean? You talking the likes on that level. Even I'm not even a CP3 fan, but CP3 is like one of the best to do it. I mean, point guard wise. Let's move on. I would start a team with Steph. Though.
You say you would not start a team with Steph? Oh, okay.
He cold.
Yeah, I think Steph definitely changed the game for the worse.
For
the worst.
Yeah, I think he. I don't all them dudes I just mentioned.
Look, this 3-point era in basketball.
I can't shoot and don't hate.
I can't do a lot of things, but listen, the 90s basketball, 2000s, I really like that era. I grew up in even the 80s. That's when I fell in love watching Magic and Bird and all them and Isaiah. Yeah. That's a different style of basketball. Yeah. Nothing against Chef. Chef Curry. He can shoot.
Chef.
Yeah. Chef Curry. That's for my co-host. He can shoot. He can do all that good jazz. But I hate seeing.
We know you in the 90s. That's why you still wearing 2X t-shirts and not wearing regular shit. So it's cool.
I ain't never gonna be that skinny jean deal. So moving on. I will ask Eve. Give me a quick. Your obviously we ain't throwing no names out there, but your most difficult client that you just went home, pulled your hair. Any good story from that perspective?
I can give you some names. I mean, you have to understand, like, we've coached several thousand clients. We've had several hundreds of coaches. So, I mean, I can just anything.
We're looking for that all-star that you will never forget, that you just
memorable, just straight memorable.
So immediately what I remember, I had a client that sent her like before photos, like in sports bra, shorts, whatever, just showing her starting photos. And in the background, there were like Costco-sized snack containers of cheese puffs, peanut butter filled pretzels, all stacked in a tower in the back of the corner. Immediately when you ask, that's what I think of. And then there was like a jar of Snickers. I mean, it was stacked 5 feet tall of just snacks in her before photo. Not intentional, but that's how she has them around her house.
What did she ask you for? That's what I want to know.
Weight loss.
Oh my God.
She lasted all of like 9 days. It was too stressful to look at what she was eating on a daily basis. So
do you see shows? I don't know if you're ever into it at all. I used to watch The Biggest Loser.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching that. For whatever reason, a good reality TV. It was motivating. I'd never act on, but I would see like they really made massive transformations on there. Do you think shows like that? I mean, how do you feel? You enjoy those kind of shows, or?
I used to really enjoy those shows. I wanted to be on them, but I eventually lost my own weight. But when I look at those shows, I frown upon them because they're really aggressive diets and they don't reflect the reality of what people are going home to. So when you see the people leave Biggest Loser, I hate when people say they failed, they gained the weight back. Like, it's so unrealistic. Their job on that show is to lose weight. They have to go home to kids and family, and they don't see attempting, McDonald's drive-through. They don't see Taco Bell. They can't run and get pizza. They're like in prison, basically, having to work out 3 times a day, eat very low calorie. So the exercise is more than they'll ever do at home. The temptations are zero. The distraction is zero. They're learning how to cook. Their chefs teaching them. So they're learning how to do everything. And their calories, I mean, I can go into science all day long, but they cut them so low that it isn't maintainable, and your body will eventually fight you back and start to store weight from low amounts of calories that you're eating in attempts to kind of like safeguard itself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's really inspiring to see the transformation, but the reality, I mean, it's awful. It's awful.
You actually answered that perfectly, because that's a lot of hidden feedback in certain circles that you hear, but the mainstream is like, they root for this, and they get the ratings, but I've also heard that same thing that you've said, that it's just not realistic. And so when people see this, like they do anything, they try to emulate, and they fail, and that's just a further vicious circle, right? So I definitely appreciate that perspective. Last question. We've talked about how we grew up this way, and you mentioned that you had, I don't know, I heard that you had a daughter. Is it other children that you have, or?
We have a daughter and a son.
Okay, daughter and a son. How important it is for you guys, I mean, to make sure that you start them off on the right foot, because, or how hard was that to make, or is it hard to keep them, eating right? I know kids, they see the McDonald's, they want to do this, they want to do that. I don't know if that's a thing with you guys, maybe you guys got them in a different habit, but for a lot of kids, they definitely aren't eating right. They're always on the go. They're always doing something, moving way more than I ever did at their ages. And so what kind of challenges as a parent do you see, or do you face, or plan that you have for them?
So that was extremely important to us, actually, because we were both overweight as children. And being overweight as a child, like, it can be kind of hard sometimes, being overweight as a child. I mean, I learned how to joan early, so I was good. But it can be hard as a child.
Yeah.
So, and like we said, when you grow up eating things that are designed to get you full only and not for your health benefit, they're going to put you in those positions. So for us, it was extremely important to teach our children how to read labels, how to read nutrition labels, to look at the labels when they go to the store. Like, we taught them that at an early age, knowing that, okay, they're going to see that the fat is high on this and the carbs are high on this and there's no protein. They're not going to say, okay, no, I'm going to eat chicken breast. They still going to eat the candy, but they know what it means. And then down the road, like, it'll start to kick in. So with my daughter is a sophomore in college now. Like, if my daughter, in college, people eat out every day. Like, not her. Like, she doesn't eat. She eats like us, but she eats like us not because we forced her to, because she grew up around it, and because she recognized that, I mean, that was the right thing to do, and that was going to get her to the goals, and that was going to get her healthy and having her look like she wants to look. What we also believe, though, is letting your child be a child. Like, we don't eat McDonald's. We haven't eaten McDonald's in like 14 years, just because it's like the creme de la creme of bad stuff for you. Like, but like all that.
But our son loves Burger King.
Yeah, he'll eat Burger King.
But let's be clear.
He'll eat Chick-fil-A, or PDQ,
Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Pizza.
But we don't let him eat it like all the time. Like, we may let him go, like, you know what I'm saying, twice a month or something like that, 3 or once a week sometimes. Like, it's a reward. It's not like, okay, this is where we're picking up, because we always prepare food. So just teaching them to eat those right things, like, and putting those goals out there for them, and then they'll latch on to them. Like, you can't force it on them, because if they get outside your house, then they're gonna binge, because they've never seen those things. And the big thing with us is we believe in moderation. Our big thing is moderation.
Yeah, that's the key right there, moderation. I mean, you can binge on anything, even if it's healthy food. I mean, you can eat too much of that. So I mean, it's all about moderation. I agree with that.
Yeah, a lot of times with us, man, we go. My mama was big, so I'm big. Like, it's hereditary, this, that, and the other. It's not hereditary. The bad habits are hereditary. The bad habits are going from one generation to the next generation, and that's what's making everybody obese. It's not that, okay, your genes say you're going to be obese. It's the choices because that's what we pass down is the bad choices. You either gonna pass down bad ones or you're gonna pass down good ones, and that's just what we tried to do, is pass those good ones down to our kids so they won't have to go through what we had to go through to get to where we are.
It's great. It's great.
I love it. It's been an awesome interview. I really appreciate you two coming on. It's a topic that I definitely wanted to have, and I, thought, well, who can I have on to do? And this is going to be an ongoing segment that we'll try to, keep this conscious in the conversation. But I seen you two, and I was like, that's a perfect fit. So I really thank you two for coming on. And if you're watching, their name that they have is Team Guzman. It's perfect because these two seem like they're in sync. They've been, from the beginning of their journey, they've stood through that fire together and they've supported each other. So just remember those kind of things along the way. And it's not about you, your partner. You lift them up, they'll lift you up, then everyone gets lifted up. All right. Again, we will post the links to their business. I hope that you check them out. If not for your sake, for your loved ones, because this is not just about you. All right. Anything else for us, Truth?
No. I'm glad that we were able to get him on and talk about something that's not, again, like you said, not talked about a lot in the Black community, and with health and things of that nature. So I'm happy for that. I'm also happy too because now I got somebody else that I'm gonna snitch on. If you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, I'm gonna snitch on you. I'm gonna tell him, hey, I'll talk to your buddy because I'm trying to get him out to go walk and do this and do that. He ain't doing it. So
we can wrap it together.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
For our consistent listeners, hashtag accountability. It's big with me, and this is the one area that I find it hard to hold myself accountable. So I appreciate that, Smoke. Even if I'm resistant, I appreciate that. So I definitely thank you. But this this conversation will be ongoing. I hope that you two enjoyed yourselves. We'd love to have you back on down the line and maybe keep this conversation going. Tell us more of those stories, because like you've got hundreds of them. Guess what? Our listeners may be in that situation. So all it takes is to hear something motivational and push them into their journey. So thank you again, and we're going to break. Thank you.